What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who classic review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 4th Doctor Tom Baker story, The Sunmakers. Another episode that I didn't really know anything about going into it, but yeah, I think I'd heard fairly mixed things about this. Some people really like it, some people not a big fan. It's quite a political story in a lot of ways, and yeah, I mean, it's a very political story, definitely, but one of the most political stories in Doctor Who, I would say, to be honest. But yeah, let's get started. This is The Sunmakers by Robert Holmes. The TARDIS, along with the Doctor, Leela and K9, arrives on Pluto in the distant future. The time travellers discover the planet has a breathable atmosphere and enjoys heat from 6 small suns, but the humans who live there are taxed and exploited heavily for the privilege. When Leela is captured and sentenced to death, the Doctor must save his companion, as well as stopping the ruthless company before it's too late. So that's the back of the DVD there. Yeah, it is a very political story. There's this company that is taxing everybody like crazy to live on this planet of Pluto. It is Pluto. And yeah, there's not really a monster per se in this story. The monster is the company, which makes this feel like the game Lethal Company, the way I'm saying that. But yeah, it is basically just the business, this company that basically runs this planet. That is the villain of the story. So was very excited, well, not really excited, was very interested going into this one. But anyway, let's get started with the cast. Tom Baker as the 4th Doctor. Yep, Tom Baker is very good in this one. He is still very much in his prime at this point in his Doctor Who career, I guess, in his era. And yep, once again, funny moments, serious moments, all just good stuff with Tom Baker. Louise Jameson as Leela is also really good. Now, when I watched this episode, I hadn't seen Louise Jameson, but a couple of weeks after watching this episode, I actually went to Melbourne and saw Louise Jameson in person, which was really good. There's a lot of these events happening in Australia at the moment, every now and again, where they have usually companions from the classic series come down. I've met quite a few now, and yeah, Louise Jameson was the most recent one. She was really, really nice. I'll probably talk about that at another point in something else. Maybe I will do a video at some point about, you know, all the cast members that I have met. But in this story, from what I remember, it's been a few weeks since I watched this one, unfortunately. But from what I remember, Louise Jameson was pretty good. Leela was good in this one. Let's get on to some points about this story. The Doctor and K9 playing chess. So this is right at the start. The Doctor and K9 playing chess in the TARDIS. Very funny little scene just to get the episode going. Yeah, just a funny scene, really. The man who can't pay his taxes was going to jump off the building. So yeah, the story basically starts with this one guy who he can't afford to pay his taxes, but there's something with his family, like I think somebody's just died or something in his family, and now he has to pay off all these taxes, but he wants a bit more extra money to help with the, I don't know, it's with the funeral or something like that. I can't quite remember, but basically this guy cannot afford to pay off these taxes, but the company is not going to help him at all with that. If anything, they're going to put his taxes up, and he basically, yeah, is over the world and is on the top of this building. He's about to jump off the building when the TARDIS lands, and the Doctor and Leela talk him out of doing that. Pluto has 6 suns. This is mentioned pretty early on. We're on Pluto, a planet that, of course, is a real planet in our own solar system, but it has 6 suns, apparently. I think they're like, I don't know, artificial suns, or I don't know what's going on there exactly. But yeah, Pluto has 6 suns. Leela defending herself from Mandrill. So Mandrill's, he kind of starts off as kind of a bad character, but in the end, he's not really bad. From what I remember, he's one of the ones that's kind of, you know, he's completely against the taxes, and they kind of live kind of underground, and don't play by the rules and don't pay the taxes and stuff. And yeah, I guess at the start they think that the Doctor and Leela are you know, are evil, are part of this company, and I think they're the ones that kidnap Leela, and then yeah, Leela has to defend herself from all these characters, which is really good to see. It's something different for a companion. A lot of other companions, they scream, they run away, they don't know what to do, whereas Leela very much defends herself. Gatherer Haid put a tracker on the Doctor. So the Gatherer is kind of well, he's the one in charge of this company that everybody gets to see. He's kind of the face of the company, but then behind the door there's the Collector, who is this weird little man creature thing, which other people don't generally get to see. It is the Collector who's kind of the one doing the dirty work, I suppose, in that regard. And he finds out about the Doctor, and he knows that something's going on with him, so he puts a tracker on the Doctor because he meets up with him and kind of pretends that, you know, he's on the Doctor's side and, you know, thinks, oh yeah, the Doctor's here to help or whatever. But yeah, he's actually trying to figure out what's going on with the Doctor, so puts a tracker on him. Leela, Cordo, Bisham and K9 driving the vehicle through the guards, but Leela gets shot. This is a funny scene, but also kind of a serious scene, because yeah, they hop on this little vehicle thing. They're like going through these corridors, and I think Leela's the one driving, and she drives through all these guards, but then she gets shot by one of the guards, and I think that's one of the cliffhangers to one of the episodes. So it's a funny scene because it's just weird and funny seeing them driving around on this tiny little kind of, I don't know, just like cart thing. It's a very strange little thing, but then Leela gets shot, so it all of a sudden goes a bit more serious. Nobody knows what the company actually does. So I think the Doctor brings this up. He's like, you know, you guys, you've got to pay these taxes. They keep putting the taxes up, but what do they actually do for you? Like, where are your taxes going? Who are they going to? What are they actually, you know, generally taxes, you pay taxes, and then, you know, that money goes to, you know, better infrastructure in your area, you know, in the government, in all that sort of stuff, better roads, you know, all that sort of stuff. That's where taxes go. But here, it seems like you pay these taxes, the jobs that you do, you get paid very little for, but then there's no real return on what you're actually paying for with these taxes. So it's like, and nobody actually knows. Nobody's like, well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't know what this company does. We just pay taxes, and that's about it. K9 opens the condensation chamber so the Doctor can get in and save Leela. So yeah, Leela gets, I think by this point she's been taken by the Collector, and the Collector's going to kill her, I'm pretty sure. Puts her in this condensation chamber to, I guess, like gas her out or whatever's going to happen there. I can't quite remember, but yeah, basically the Doctor can't get in there. K9 is able to open up this chamber so the Doctor can get in there and save Leela. The Collector driving in circles is hilarious. Now this bit's really, really silly. It reminds me of in Castrovalva when the 5th Doctor is like on that wheelchair and he's like driving around in circles. It's like the exact same thing here with the Collector. The Collector's constantly in kind of this, you know, electric wheelchair sort of thing. And he's at this current point in time when this is happening, he's a bit flustered. He doesn't quite know what's going on. He doesn't know what to do. And he just starts driving around in circles for quite a long period of time and just seeming very stressed. And I don't know, I mean, the way the Collector talks as well, his voice is weird. It's like a really high pitch, but just a very weird voice. And that, along with him driving around in circles and just the look on his face, it's honestly hilarious. The Doctor puts a guard to sleep and accidentally puts Leela to sleep too. I can't quite remember exactly what he does to put this guard to sleep. I don't know if it's some sort of hypnosis-y thing. I think it might be. I can't 100% remember. But I do remember, yeah, he puts this guard to sleep and then he turns around because he's like, all right, Leela, let's go. And he turns around and Leela's also like asleep and he has to wake her up. So that's pretty funny. Citizens throw the Gatherer off the roof. Yeah, pretty brutal end to the Gatherer. Once, you know, all the citizens, they've had enough, they find a way to kind of revolt against the company, and they go to the Gatherer, they're all on the roof, and they just kind of pick him up and throw him off the roof, and he just falls to his death. It's pretty brutal. For Doctor Who, that is quite brutal. And I do quite like it though, in a way that, you know, the episode started with that guy wanting to jump off the roof, end his life essentially because of the Gatherer, and the story ends with the Gatherer himself being the one to fall off that roof. The Collector was defeated and trapped forever. So yeah, once the Gatherer's gone, the company's basically completely, gone. There is no more hope for this company anymore. All the citizens have revolted against them. Then the collector just kind of has a little bit of a, I don't know, like a hissy fit. He has a real panic and then shrinks into his chair, which reveals to just be like a chair with like a hole in it, like a tiny little toilet or something. And then now he's just some like little microscopic thing within this chair, and he's now trapped forever and can't come back. It's a bit of a weird end, I'm not gonna lie. I think the doctor says that, you know, that the look of the collector, that wasn't his real form. He is some weird, you know, alien kind of you know, morphing sort of alien thing. He was just putting on that form to, I don't know, look a bit more normal, although he doesn't look normal. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird end, I will be honest. So there we have it. That was my review for The Sunmakers. A very interesting episode, I will be honest. It's very weird. It is a very weird episode. But it's actually quite enjoyable. For an episode like this, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I ended up enjoying it more than I thought. So a rating out of 10, I'm going to give The Sunmakers a 6.5 out of 10. It's still not an absolutely amazing story. Generally, like a 7 out of 10 is like, yep, that's a good story. I enjoyed that story. It's slightly below that because, yeah, it is a bit boring with all the politics and stuff. And I guess it is a bit slow paced. There's not really an alien in it. I mean, the collector is an alien, but he looks human for the most part. So not really. And yeah, but other than that, it's just a really bonkers story, really silly, some really silly moments. So yeah, a 6.5 out of 10 for The Sunmakers. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.